Welcome to a world where evolution didn't just experiment, it went completely off script. Picture a bird standing perfectly still in an African swamp, staring straight at you with eyes that seem almost completely empty. Now picture a creature that never grows up, always seems to be smiling, and can even regrow parts of its own brain. Then there's a monkey with a nose so enormous, it almost overwhelms the rest of its face. These aren't mistakes. They aren't glitches in some grand design. They're the result of millions of years of trial and error written into flesh and bone. And somehow, these strange designs worked. Today, we're counting down 10 of the strangest looking animals on the planet. Some of them will make you laugh. Some might genuinely make you uncomfortable. But every one of them survived because of the very features that make them look so strange. Welcome to some of nature's strangest designs. And if you enjoy this kind of wildlife, subscribe and stick around for more. May God bring peace and blessings to you and your family. Now, let's begin. In the wetlands of East Africa, where the Nile spreads into vast swamps and papyrus reaches toward the horizon, something is standing perfectly still. It doesn't move. It doesn't blink. For nearly an hour, it can hold that same position, staring into the murky water with an intensity that is hard to ignore. This is the shoebill, and once you see that stare for yourself, it's easy to understand why local fishermen once believed this bird had supernatural powers. Standing over 4 feet tall and weighing up to 15 pounds, the shoebill looks almost like a prehistoric bird that somehow made it into the modern world. Its massive bill is shaped almost exactly like a wooden clog, with a hooked tip sharp enough to cut through the armored scales of a lungfish, or even snap the neck of a baby crocodile. And that stillness isn't laziness. It's how the shoebill hunts. It can remain motionless for so long that fish seem to lose track of it, coming close enough for one sudden strike that can be over in less than 1/5 of a second. Genetically, the shoebill is closer to pelicans than to storks, and it belongs to a very old lineage that has retained many of its distinctive features for millions of years. When threatened, it doesn't screech or call. Instead, it slams its enormous bill together, producing a rapid, rattling sound that can echo across the swamp like a burst of automatic gunfire. While most predators rely on speed, the shoebill does something very different. It waits, it stays silent, and it lets the fish come to it. Now leave the African wetlands behind and cross the Atlantic to the volcanic lakes of Central America, where an entirely different kind of strange is waiting. In the canals of Xochimilco, Mexico, lives a creature that never truly grows up. Meet the axolotl, an amphibian that seems to wear the same little smile no matter what's happening around it. Most amphibians go through metamorphosis, losing their gills, leaving the water, and eventually becoming adults on land. The axolotl doesn't. it remains in its larval form throughout its life, keeping its feathery external gills and aquatic body. Scientists call this trait neoteny. But that permanent grin isn't even its strangest feature. What happens when it gets hurt is far more remarkable. If an axolotl loses a leg, part of its tail, or even part of its heart or spinal cord, it can regenerate the damaged tissue instead of forming the kind of scar we would expect. It rebuilds muscle, bone, and nerves, restoring the damaged area as though the injury had never happened. Some individuals have regrown the same limb more than a dozen times, with no apparent loss of function. It's a level of self-repair that most animals on Earth, including us, simply don't have. And yet, the axolotl can't repair the damage being done to the place it calls home. In the wild, it now teeters on the edge of extinction. A creature capable of regenerating parts of its own brain, yet unable to stop pollution and shrinking wetlands from destroying its habitat. From the quiet waters of Mexico, we now cross the Pacific to the dense mangrove forests of Borneo. Here, the water is always moving. The tide comes in, the tide goes out, and somewhere above it all is one of the most unusual primates on the planet. You'll probably hear him before you see him. A deep, resonant honk rolls through the canopy, coming from a nose so large that it seems almost impossible for it to belong to the same face. This is the Proboscis monkey, and that oversized nose isn't a birth defect. It's a billboard. Only males develop a nose this large, and it can grow up to 4 inches long, hanging well past the chin. The larger the nose, the louder the call he can produce, and that louder call can make him more attractive to females, while also making him look more intimidating to rival males. It's natural selection taking a very strange path. Adult males can weigh up to 50 pounds, nearly twice the weight of females. Their diet of young leaves, many of which contain toxins that other animals avoid, is matched by a multi-chambered stomach similar to that of a cow. The result is the monkey's unmistakable, rounded, pot-bellied shape. But the nose isn't the only unusual thing about the proboscis monkey. Watch what happens when danger shows up. Unlike many primates that try to escape through the trees, this monkey sometimes has to deal with a predator most others never encounter. A clouded leopard moving quietly through the branches above. Its escape can be almost unbelievable. It leaps straight down from the trees into the river below, using its partially webbed feet to swim with surprising speed and power. It trades one danger for another, leaving the leopard behind in the branches and entering water where crocodiles may be waiting just below the surface. 3 creatures, 3 completely different environments. And each one shows us something important. Sometimes, the features that look the strangest are the ones that help an animal survive. But we're only getting started. Because the next animals take us into some of the harshest environments on Earth, where survival calls for adaptations that are stranger still. Leaving the tangled rivers of Borneo behind, we now head into the opposite extreme, a place where water is hard to come by. The Sahara Desert stretches for more than 3 million square miles. During the day, temperatures can climb past 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And every animal here has to solve the same basic problem. How do you survive when water is so scarce? Out among the shifting dunes lives the smallest fox on Earth. And its most striking feature isn't its size, it's the ears. Meet the Fennec Fox, weighing barely 3 pounds, with ears that can grow up to 6 inches long, nearly a third of its entire body length. Those ears do far more than pick up sounds. They're sensitive enough to detect the faint scratching of an insect moving beneath the sand. They're also a built-in cooling system. A dense network of blood vessels carries heat toward the surface, allowing it to escape into the desert air and helping the fox keep its body temperature stable beneath the scorching sun. Its paws are covered in thick fur, too. That fur helps protect its feet from sand that can reach scorching temperatures, while also allowing the fox to move quietly across the shifting dunes. And perhaps most remarkably, the Fennec Fox can survive for extended periods without drinking water, getting nearly all the moisture it needs from the insects, roots, and small animals it eats. During the day, it disappears underground, retreating into burrow systems that can stretch more than 30 feet below the surface. It comes back out only after the desert cools under the moonlight. Everything about this little fox is suited to life in a place where survival is anything but easy. But leave the dunes behind and travel south into the open savannas of East Africa, and the landscape changes completely. The dry, empty desert gives way to grasslands filled with color and movement. Here, across Uganda and Kenya, one bird seems to move with an almost regal air. This is the gray-crowned crane, and its name fits. A crown of stiff, golden feathers rises from the top of its head, spreading out like rays of light. Standing more than 3 feet tall, it also has a bright red throat pouch that inflates when it calls, producing a booming sound that can carry for miles across the open plains. But the most surprising thing about this crane isn't something you can see at first. Unlike most cranes, the gray-crowned crane can spend the night perched in trees, using an elongated hind toe to grip branches and hold on, like a bird built for the job. When breeding season arrives, the crane becomes an impressive performer. It leaps into the air, bows deeply, puffs out its feathers, and bobs its head in a courtship dance so intricate that it almost looks choreographed. And once a pair bonds, they remain together for life, building their nests side by side and raising their chicks together. From the open grasslands, we now move into the dense, dripping canopy of the Amazon rainforest, where a very different kind of predator is waiting above. You won't hear it coming. That's precisely the point. This is the Harpy Eagle, one of the most powerful birds of prey on the planet. And when you see its talons, it's easy to understand why. They can grow up to 5 inches long, longer than the claws of a grizzly bear, and they're capable of delivering a crushing grip strong enough to shatter bone in a single strike. With a wingspan approaching 7 feet, this eagle is often called the monkey eagle. It can snatch monkeys and sloths directly from the treetops in a single, silent ambush. Around its face, a distinctive disc of feathers works almost like a satellite dish, helping channel faint sounds through the dense forest canopy and allowing the eagle to locate prey it cannot yet see. When the harpy eagle becomes alert or agitated, the feathers on top of its head rise into a dramatic crest, giving its face an expression that can look surprisingly human, curious one moment, threatening the next. Despite being one of the rainforest's most formidable hunters, the harpy eagle is now incredibly rare. An apex predator whose future depends on how much forest remains standing beneath it. A fox that conquered the desert. A crane that moves like royalty. An eagle that hunts in complete silence. 3 very different animals, 3 very different ways of surviving. But the strangest and rarest creatures on this list are still ahead of us, hiding in places few cameras have ever reached. The humid rainforest canopy is far behind us now. Ahead, the landscape changes completely. The steppes of Central Asia stretch toward the horizon, covered in grass and swept by constant winds. Temperatures can swing from brutal summer heat to bone-cracking winter cold within the same year. And surviving here requires one very unusual adaptation. Meet the Saiga Antelope. The first thing you'll notice is its enormous, drooping nose, flexible enough to look almost like a small trunk. That nose isn't just there for appearance. It serves a vital purpose. In summer, it filters out the thick clouds of dust kicked up by migrating herds. In winter, it warms the freezing air before it reaches the lungs, essentially working as an internal climate control system built right into the animal's face. The saiga can also run astonishingly fast, reaching speeds of up to 50 miles per hour across open ground. In a landscape where there is nowhere to hide from wolves, that speed can mean the difference between escaping and becoming prey. This species is often described as a living fossil, a creature that once roamed alongside woolly mammoths during the last ice age and somehow survived while so many of its ice age neighbors disappeared. But surviving this long hasn't been easy. In the spring of 2015, something devastating happened. Within just a few weeks, more than 200,000 Saiga antelope collapsed and died. An opportunistic bacterial infection, triggered by unusually warm and humid weather, wiped out an entire population and created one of the largest single-species die-offs ever recorded on Earth. It was a brutal reminder that even an animal built to handle extreme conditions can still be pushed beyond its limits. Now cross the ocean and an entire hemisphere, and the landscape changes again. We arrive in the tall, golden grasses of Brazil's Cerrado, home to one of South America's loneliest wanderers. At first glance, it looks like a fox stretched onto stilts. This is the maned wolf. And despite the name, it is neither a wolf nor a fox. It belongs to its own distinct lineage, the last surviving member of an ancient genus found nowhere else on the planet. Its legs are dramatically, almost comically long. They allow it to see clearly over tall grass without wasting energy constantly leaping through it. Think of them as a built-in periscope for a flat, open world. The maned wolf also carries an unusually strong scent, so distinctive that some researchers have compared it to the smell of marijuana. That odor helps it mark territory across the vast distances it travels alone. And unlike almost every other canine on Earth, nearly half of the maned wolf's diet consists not of meat, but of a wild, tomato-like fruit nicknamed wolf apple. It's a surprisingly close connection between this predator and a plant. Deeply solitary and naturally shy, the maned wolf is rarely captured on camera. It can move silently through grass taller than its own head, almost completely hidden from view. Leave the dry plains behind, and the landscape changes once again. Now we're heading into the flooded forests of the Amazon, where during the rainy season, the trees themselves seem to grow directly out of the water. High in the canopy, something unusual is watching from above. A completely bald face, bright red. This is the Red Uakari, and that crimson face isn't paint. It isn't fur either. It's blood, visible through skin so thin and unpigmented that the dense network of blood vessels underneath shows through. And that vivid red face serves an unexpected purpose. The brighter and more vibrant the red, the healthier the individual, making the face a visible signal of physical fitness and a natural health indicator used to select the strongest mates. When a uakari falls ill, particularly with malaria, its face visibly pales, providing a warning sign that the entire troop can instantly recognize. Unlike most New World monkeys, which rely on long, gripping tails to move through the canopy, the Red Uakari has an unusually short, stub-like tail. That means it relies almost entirely on leaping and climbing to get around. It spends its entire life in the seasonally flooded treetops, rarely, if ever, descending to the forest floor. That makes it one of the most difficult primates on Earth to observe up close. And now we go even farther down. From the treetops of the Amazon, we move into the dry, sandy plains of central Argentina, into a world that exists almost entirely beneath the surface. This is the smallest armadillo on the planet, and quite possibly the most mysterious mammal alive today. Meet the Pink Fairy Armadillo. It's barely 4 inches long, small enough to fit inside a human palm. Its shell isn't the usual gray or brown you'd expect from an armadillo. It's pink, That color comes from a dense network of blood vessels running just beneath a thin, translucent carapace, which also doubles as a built-in radiator to help regulate body temperature. This tiny creature spends almost its entire life underground. Using massive, shovel-like claws, it can swim through loose desert sand rather than digging traditional tunnels. It surfaces so rarely that most people living in its native range have never once seen one. Scientists know astonishingly little about its natural behavior. It has never been successfully studied for any extended period in the wild, and in captivity, it typically dies within days, seemingly unable to cope with the stress of confinement. Officially, its conservation status is listed as data deficient. That means science still doesn't know how many of these creatures remain, or how much longer they might survive. An antelope that outlived the Ice Age. A wolf that walks alone on stilts. A monkey whose face can reveal its health. And an armadillo so elusive that it remains one of nature's last true secrets. 4 creatures. 4 reminders that even in an age of satellites and supercomputers, there are still parts of the wild we don't fully understand. And that's what makes animals like these so fascinating. They look strange to us because we see the world through human eyes. But every one of those unusual features has a story behind it. A story written over generations, shaped by the places these animals call home. If you want to see more of the wildest and strangest animals on Earth, subscribe and stick around. May God bring peace and blessings to you and your family. Until next time, keep exploring.